your roster now. KingNick, Gilkey, Suppressed, Tusk, and as a team, partnered team, and with that star-studded of a roster going through open bracket, I just have to imagine the passion pit. And as you had mentioned, a team that maybe was 20 days old against an org that has 20 years of experience sitting just on the other side of the table with a crowd all around them. And a lot of these players with that main stage experience took that experience to the passion pit. It brings them here today.
Yeah, I tippable to the players that are used to being in pro bracket, pool play. They get media day the day before. They're scrimming at the facility setups. That is not the benefit that you are afforded as an open bracket team. And Complexity, partnered or not, they had to get it out the mud and are now here because of it against Gamers First in a series that could determine second place in this pool.
And we're diving right into game number one. You might have heard a little bit of applause in the background because just like you at home, we're kind of at the mercy of the teams, the players, and the technical support being ready to go as we get into this matchup. It is going to be Strongholds on Live Fire. This is the game one, so we'll get that all set on the overlay as we dive right in. You haven't missed a full match. I know you guys at home, you're getting nervous. Don't be nervous.
All right, early opening break win for Gamers First. They've got the map control. They've got the control of B and C. They're going to start the scoring because of that. And most importantly, Neuronical has the snipe.
Sniper already finds its way into the hands of Gamers First, and now the overshield stacking up on top, combining both of those power-ups. And look at the swap. Empties a full round of that VR, a full mag, swaps over to the sniper, not able to connect, but he does have a little bit of overshield left to work with as he doubles right back into the fight.
Neuronical taking a couple pop shots at Complexity, knowing that he's got that extra bit of shield to work with. Now spots an opponent down to no shields, gonna look for the insta-explode, but somehow that player stays alive, but not for long. It's Suppressed, finally goes down.
An early lead here from Gamers First, and I tell you what, staying on Neuronical's POV is exactly where we should be. He's had everything, the sniper, the overshield. He even threw in a couple rounds of the heat wave, burning it off so that they have the information on when the next heat wave is going to be available. Smart double back here as he approached C, saw too many in front of him, retreating back to his team and finally taken down.
And two instances, Magic, where Complexity flips the positioning of A and B, but Gamers First says, we're up to that. We're rotating ahead of your rotation, as despite Complexity regaining 2 points of control on A, B, and C, it's Gamers First who continues scoring and stops any hope for Complexity taking B. Tusk, the last hope for any chance of that, but all the while, Complexity, the attention on B, but they're taking A.
That was a lot to unpack right there. We might need another booster cap because you saw again players and again afraid of zones. Every time Gamers First see Complexity making their way to a zone, they're not contesting for it. They're just rotating the map, and now they have the opportunity to play for this OS. Precision with the plasmas is going to be taken down by Suppressed melee, but Neuronical is here again. Does he get back-to-back overshields for himself? It looks like he will.
Neuronical. A little bit of a maybe fumble with the repulsor. You know, I actually think he was doing that to get rid of it. He knew that he wanted to grab overshield and instantly push up on this C hill, leaving the repulsor in the dust, and so too is KingNick.
Yeah, if you're holding onto a piece of equipment and you're trying to pick up another, you have to make a button input. So burning off that repulsor so that you can insta-grab the OS, put it into action, and now getting that cap off of it. They're not settling for 2 zones right now. Gamers First are pushing for the triple cap with a kill and assist from a Neuronical.
And that was 4, and it's now looking like 5 times that Complexity has shifted this map control, but it's all for more scoring for Gamers First. Masterful work, decision-making, positioning from the likes of G1.
When you have the 2-to-1 zone advantage, stronghold advantage, you'll take a 1-for-1 trade all day, all night, but a couple of slays. In fact, 4 down for Gamers First. Complexity, they can flip the script.
Complexity with that team wipe is going to have their first look at a potential scoring streak of 3 caps that'll help double up on those points. So 13, 15, 17, you're going to see that continuous. Takes the face of Swish, looks for Neuronical, but he goes down. 3, 4 go down for Gamers First in back-to-back sequences. That's going to bring Complexity right back in this match.
And even more dangerous, that back-to-back team wipes happened. The second team wipe was while Complexity was holding on to the triple cap. An incredibly dangerous time to go 4 down. They reset on B, and with the sniper and KingNick's control, he had the call out from the teammate to watch Big Door, and he was ready for that snipe.
KingNick locking down the nest control with that sniper rifle, and I love this shift over to the sniper tower with it, and he's going to tell his teammate to get out of there. I've got this spot. You can see that communication coming through the feed. The snipe as well. KingNick is heating up.
this snipe. We've seen at least 3 headshots from this one sniper, and it's not out of ammo yet. The assist coming through, watching over that overshield pickup, and finally, this is it. This is Complexity's breakthrough. They win the sniper, and with it, win the other power of that OS in their control.
3 back-to-back-to-back win sequences for Complexity, and it's all on the back of KingNick and that sniper rifle. Continuing to see it get put to work, and that is huge that he finally goes down. Get KingNick to the respawn screen was the directive from Hoaxer, the coach of Gamer First.
But it was too late. By the time they pushed him at tower, that sniper was out of ammo, so they're not going to steal back that power up. It's out of play.
And despite the hot start for Gamers First, they're now in the blender. That's 4 sequences in a row where they have lost the numbers advantage. This is the time to all spawn at A collectively and regroup and push out together. Otherwise, Complexity is going to continue to roll.
On board with Swish. Might only have a handful of slays, but you see 8 assists as he adds on 2 more kills. Gamers First, if they flip B, they get some points back. They had a significant lead in the early stages, but that triple cap from Complexity has shifted the scoreline, and now Gamers First are trying to fight their way back into the match.
Gamers First in the micro was doing such a good job flipping control points that Complexity was able to earn, but it feels like the dam is broken through. Complexity able to put about 100 straight on the board, and they're going to continue the scoring. Just to look like Gamers First was going to have that micro answer back. Complexity steals it right back. If not for Gamers First taking C, they've got to get some control back, and it's wild to say that after they had such a wonderful start. They're now looking a little shaky.
They got some control back with that C capture, but here's my question. Do they contest for B or do they rotate to A? The strategy that was working earlier for Gamers First, they kind of abandoned. They're going to fight this fight. Gilkey at the back of B with the heat wave takes down 1. There's a couple of weak players, and it looks like the recruits are here. Complexity are not giving up on this stronghold.
And that was all Gilkey. Gilkey earning that trade in a 1v3 against Gamers First was the snowball rolling down the hill, the fork in the road, if you will, where Gilkey and Complexity were able to take the right path. Huge play there from Gilkey in a 1v3. Just simply trading out was huge.
Couple of zones up for contention. Most of the attention shifting over to B in this sandbags area. So crucial for that line of sight. Gamers First win back that B stronghold with that victory at the sandbags. 30 seconds between the 2 teams.
And at this pace, this is looking like an incredible 245, 250 finish. These 2 teams are so close. We saw a great start for Gamers First in the halfway mark of that. Then the second half of the start, Complexity takes. Who's going to take this mid game? Right now, it's all up in the air, but Gamers First has control of B and C.
Oh, you see that precision hits the body shot with that snipe. A teammate cleans it up as the assist comes through, and the control of the sniper rifle, it was what brought Complexity back in this game, and now Gamers First are looking to do the same. 2 kills with the sniper that we caught on screen. I think there might be 1 round left.
You have got to be in the comms calling out that that sniper is down at B. It looks like Tusk might have the edge on that, despite it previously being in the hands of Gamers First. Swish, you could tell he was pushing up. It was a battle almost for the power positioning over at the side of B, a almost tertiary part of the map on the periphery, but it was the power position because of the fact that the sniper laid on the ground. Now Gamers First has it.
That 1 round of the sniper, and Swish had his sights set on that weapon. He also has the repulsor, which here at the back of B could be a useful utility as now Gamers First continue to extend their lead. What has been a back and forth match. A little bit of a slowdown here, and now Swish, he can't wait and watch that line with the sniper. He has to take the 1v1, uses the repulsor, but Complexity is unshaken.
And now it's Huss as the last player alive with that heat wave, similar to Gilkey. Can he earn a trade? Not only a trade, he wins out on suppress, stays alive. Can he earn the double? No. But again, it's that trade out that, and this is not going to be enough. Gamers First looking to take whatever they can as Complexity earns the trip cap, but Neuronical with the overshield, but the sticky counters him too.
Neuronical's 3rd overshield, but it was KingNick's plasma grenade that finds the stick for the kill. And now it's the fight for B that could determine the final, like the home stretch of this match. Suppress holding back B has damage out to Neuronical, tosses out the spike grenade, has 1 repulsor to use, but Neuronical wins the PIV.
Huge takedown, Neuronical, big win there. Huss trades out, so Neuronical's win gives him a numbers advantage, but not for long. It's going to be an even 2-2 in the feed as Neuronical eventually goes down. Both of these 2 teams vying for map control. It's all up in the air right now, but Complexity retains control of B and goes into the 200s with that narrow lead.
If Complexity can pull off another triple cap, this could spell disaster for Gamers First. Past that 200-point mark, they have little time to work with, and with 2 players on the respawn screen, make it 3, they have one last push.
You got to stop the bleeding right here. You've got to choose one of A, B, or C. It doesn't matter which one it is. You got to choose one and choose it quickly because time is running out. Tick, 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 tick. Complexity on the brink of taking game 1.
3 seconds left. Huss has to desperate for B. He hops on. He can get the clock stop, but he has to survive. Complexity set their attention onto him, and he is taken down. But meanwhile, a teammate made it all the way around to C. It's Swish.
No way! No way! Swish able to gain control of C as the last player alive, but because of that, Complexity going to have a pretty easy task of taking A as they do that and take game 1.
Incredible. Nearly the hero play from Swish to hop onto C to get the clock stop cap, but it wasn't enough. Complexity clutch it up in what was an incredible game number 1.
And that was great decision making there from Complexity. They could have got a little nervous seeing C start to trickle into favor of G1, but they said, we'll give you C, but we're going to take A in this game. Masterful work in decision-making and positioning, and I got to say, masterful work in the regain for Complexity.
Yes.
G1 was all over them the first, let's count it, 5, 6 sequences.
I agree.
We're all G1. And then it was all Complexity. You could argue the mid game was highly contested, but I don't know. Complexity just really felt like in the end game they ran away with it. You can see here at the start, 72-8, 100-8. But then the trip cap came on for Complexity. That was the catalyst.
This was the catalyst for the comeback, and then the final stages, they got another trip cap, which really was the seal the deal. And KingNick, the sniper plays, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it was the trip cap, you could argue, was the catalyst for their scoring and getting back in the game, but the catalyst to the catalyst was KingNick with that sniper rifle, taking 3 faces in a row, and it was the timing of it. Took down Swish, let him respawn, had that centering reticle lined up easily.
It's the overshield here with the use of the sniper.
Right, has his reticle lined up in all the right places, continuously throughout the top snipe control, even on a, that's a centering shot right
I want to see that
again.
again.
Look at that, perfect centering on a shot where you rarely see a player at that location, so KingNick came to play today, and you see exactly why right there.
Yesterday, I asked Tools on the broadcast if you have to pick Sniper OS when you get it, and his answer was depends on who's on your team. And if you have a team with KingNick, I think you're going to have to pick the sniper in this scenario. It certainly paid off for Complexity.
And I think also to Tools' credit, you know, he talks a lot about why you want to play for the trip cap, right? And I think we got to see exactly why they're in that game as Complexity use the trip cap to get back in the game and then seal the deal in the end game. When you play for those trip caps, you create an opportunity for your team to put the other team in the blender, and that's where G1 was. And despite the fact that G1 had that 100-8-10 start, you could argue Complexity was never necessarily in the blender, but G1 was.
A game 1, the first game of the day, the first game for Complexity in pool play, and they get that upset. You know, the Complexity from the open bracket versus Gamers First. As competitive as we know these teams are, this is, at least on paper, an upset.
This is, I don't know. This is. It's so hard to say that this is like, oh, we have this underdog, scrappy open bracket team here, and Complexity backed and owned by the Dallas Cowboys.
Underdog, but you got to give them the upset.
I think so. You could say this is an upset, but I actually think these two teams are extremely evenly matched. All 4 of these players have experience playing in championship bracket, placing top 6. So these are, again, the amount of top 6 players in open bracket meant that once we got to pool play, once they got into these qualification matches to make it to Champ Sunday in the upper bracket or lower bracket, whichever they ultimately end up in, was for this right here. It all comes down to this. In a weird way, it's still pool play, but these final matches have so much consequence because the 4 seeds of this tournament, it's not like 4 seeds of the past where, 4 seeds slot them in at 4. No. The 4 seeds in this tournament could very well take first in some of these pools, especially, you could argue, maybe pool D. At least second.
Woo! And honestly, I feel like, that's what's on the line with this matchup. Like, hypothetically, this would be a fight for that second place.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Navi, they're probably competing right now, but Navi might have the cell phone open seeing what's going on with Gamers First, because if G1 loses here, Navi, the door opens back up for them to take second in pools. And the reason why we're overemphasizing, you could argue, the pool play, which isn't championship bracket.
Not emphasizing enough.
I don't think we're emphasizing it enough, because one of these two teams could be looking at a lower bracket run, the other starting off with that token in the winner's bracket side, and that is so crucial. You start in lowers 1, it's kind of like, oh man, we're up against it. Like, what do we do? You start in upper, yeah, it's game on, right?
Chat, help me out. Complexity win this series. Is it an upset? Yes or no?
I'm really curious to see what the chat thinks. Yeah,
you're giving Tools a lot of credit. We're already fighting Mikowski. This is the first series of the day. Like, come on, you gotta give me something. But I'll let chat duke it out. If Complexity win the series, is it an upset? I would say yes.
Hey, we always talk about matching the intensity of the match itself, and we have a hell of a match here to start off our championship Saturday. And yesterday, Magic, I would say a lot of 3-0s, but I think we'd all like to see a few more game 5s, right? And maybe
all of our series yesterday were
3-0s. That's right. So as far as us together, we only saw 3-0s. Looking to maybe see a game 5 here. It feels like it so
look
far.
Look at the ascending baseline.
Oh,
first game on Sentinels.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about, man. You could have the likes of Sentinels with all top 4 players on their team get 4th in pool. I don't know. That's too faded. It's not faded Saturday. That was faded Friday. But I don't know, man. Everything is up in the air. Even a team like Sentinels, a world-class organization, formed a dynasty with that previous Snakebite Royal 2 lethal roster, and it's not, you cannot count anybody out. Even the likes of an ascending baseline, no organization, players who were dropped from their previous teams, they're now taking down HCS Goliaths in game 1. Can they continue and upset Sentinels? That's an upset. There you go. I don't think any question in the chat. That's an upset right there. Ascending baseline up 1-0 over Sen.
Ascending baseline, that's Super CC, Arctic, Posey, Envor. We talked about them earlier, and I have to talk about them again. I owe it to them. And that first game win over Sentinels, that's another matchup that's fighting for second place, because you remember Sentinels Quadrant Series? That was that final kill. Right. The Spartan Frenzy for the 50-49 win in that game 5. So, whew, what a pool to be placed in.
Here's another interesting point about the underdog upsetting in game 1. They now go into a game 2 where you kind of historically in Halo sort of favor you sort of favor the underdog. So are we really leaning over 50% odds of happening where Sentinels is down 0-2 to an open bracket team?
You gotta ask the same question for G1. Are we really looking at an 0-2 from an open bracket team? I know it's hard for you to look at the name Complexity and the roster of Complexity and say in your mind open bracket, because we're so used to these players.
They were the 5 seed
the champ bracket
3 weeks ago. This Oregon at least was the 5 seed.
We have an observer in this game. Are you kidding me? It looks like game number 2 Sentinels Ascending is kicking off. So we did see the roster changes affecting Sentinels. 2 players from the former G1 roster finding their home here with Sentinels. That's Falcated, Boo Boo Dubu, holding on to Lethal and Sparty. Yeah,
Boo Boo Dubu and Falcated continue their duo ship into the Sentinels organization. And looking over at the ascending roster, Arctic, Super CC, Posey, and Envor, these are all guys that, like Trash, got discarded. They're not Trash players.
Wow!
Like Trash, were discarded from their previous teams. I think that's fair to say. And that's part of the edge that they take into this tournament.
Recycle.
You see that chip on their shoulder. That's right. They're recycled. They're green friendly. You know, it's Optic Gaming. They got the green logo, the ascending baseline. They're green friendly. There you go.
They're green friendly. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's going to be an interesting matchup. We'll let you know. Obviously, there was a player crash or some situation happening where they were going to have to reset, which is why Lethal meleeed my call out on the map, which is that black trash bag next to the Bulldog.
Speaking of call outs, can I call out the incredible work this weekend from our producer, Louis V. Titan, and our observer,
you can.
Nighty Knight, who did not get the opportunity to observe at DreamHack Dallas. Like a kid in the candy store, showed up this morning. And even yesterday, because it was open bracket matches. And I'm stoked for Nighty Knight, the fact that he gets to observe this. He's one of the best in the game. And I feel like we get better content when you have a better observer, and that is Nighty Knight. He's my favorite, I think the best observer in Halo.
Best observer I have ever worked with.
Ever.
Big shout out, Nighty. Nighty, what was your count for overkills yesterday? 1 overkill yesterday? 1 out of 1.
Hey,
didn't miss any overkill.
Overkill a day, right?
How many overkills you want today, Nighty?
Yeah.
Nighty, how many overkills you want today? 5 overkills today?
Can you imagine?
Okay.
We'll have a voice if we see 5 overkills on cast. I know I won't, at least, but I'm not going to stop that from happening, as Nighty Knight is not going to stop it either, because more often than not, this dude is on it. He knows where the POV is shifting. Like in hockey, they always say you got to skate to where the puck is going, not to where the puck is. That seems to be the mindset that 99 takes into observing because he's always one step ahead of it.
Anticipating the play before it happens, the sign of an incredible best in the business observer. Definitely a good time to give a shout out, especially knowing that we have observers in multiple matches. That helps us to be able to keep you updated on that Ascending Baseline Sentinels matchup. As we get into Game 2, Complexity, G1, you think about Slayer, you think about this being the underdog team's advantage. Let's see what happens.
Gamers first with that C spawn. Let's see if they can take advantage of the Stalker Rifle that could come with it as we have a tie 2-2 early in this game. The score even. Looking to see who gets control of the sandbox off the rip. We don't see any of that shotgun, Stalker, rockets. Really curious to see where those have fallen into.
Huss is convinced someone is here in PD. He's checking every corner to his credit. Doesn't find anyone, but maybe getting information. It's Gilkey with the Stalker Rifle, and he's separated from his team right now. The rest of Complexity back there at the subway side.
Yeah, because of G1 spawning at C, Gilkey almost has to go on a solo mission into C to retrieve the Stalker Rifle. All the while, he's putting it to good use with the double kill, and that is so huge for G1 to spawn on the C side and not take advantage of the early Stalker like we see for Complexity. It's early, but that could come back to bite him.
Anytime you make a play that is Spartan-esque on his map streets, and that's what it looked like right there from Gilkey with the Stalker Rifle play for the double kill, hitting every shot. Still plenty of ammo or enough ammo left in that weapon, so you see him doubling back, preserving his life and the use of the Stalker Rifle.
Huss with the boom block to work with could potentially deflect some grenades coming his way into the laundry location. Once he gets called out, you expect to see a litany of grenades in that location as he rotates now towards middle of the map. Rockets up in 20, and we have a standoff magic. Early in this game, we have an endgame standoff.
And you saw that they were scoping out Gilkey's location. As the ammo from that Stalker runs out, he has players weak, but it's not enough for him to push forward. He's forced to fall back, 2 go down on each side. We're left with half rosters as the next round of rockets are spawning in. Huss pre-drops that drop wall, and how quickly was it deleted by Complexity? Not soon enough. Huss gets away with rockets.
Like that delayed use of the boom block from Huss. He wanted to use it to get the rockets. And although it was depleted right away, Complexity had to use some resources and ammunition to take it down. But quickly, Huss goes down 2, but 3 go down for Complexity. 3 go down for Gamers First. Rockets, though, all the while are down at the shotgun location. It's going to be a trade out between Swish and KingNick. Still that 2-kill lead for Complexity.
Those rockets were a little bit of a mixed bag for both teams, as they often are here on the streets. Teams knowing so well how to counter it, how to avoid those angles, or how to rush right into the blast radius. So as we see rockets spent, that's more opportunity for weapons like this Bulldog to bark as the kill comes through for Huss. He's looking at the double kill, has great damage onto KingNick, but he might have lost him from ducking into that shroud screen. The help is in. Swish is going to clean up that kill.
And it's been the sandbox edge in this game, in particular with the Stalker Rifle, as we see Suppressed earn himself a double kill. Previously, a minute or two ago, we saw Gilkey with a double. Now it's Suppressed. You've got to take him down as Neuronical does just that, lands the double kill. You have got to get that Stalker control in your hands because so far Complexity has had way too much of it.
You talked about Neuronical in the pre-show, and that was an incredible big brain positioning accuracy play to get the double kill. Stays alive in the process, currently leading Gamers First with that 6 kills and only 4 deaths.
Watch out for Neuronical as he looks for another double kill, lands the killing spree. That would have been a wild out BR on KingNick, but just look at that. Just simply the focus of KingNick on Neuronical allows that easy free kill for Huss, and what do you know? He's got that Stalker in his hand.
It was Neuronical's killing spree that got the lead back for Gamers First, and now they extend it to a 3, make it a 4-point advantage.
Love that adjustment. That is very difficult. When a team is rolling with that power weapon control, it is very difficult to break that setup, almost like a location hill on recharge. As Precision now pushes up spots weak opponents in the numbers advantage. It's even in the feed for the most part, only 1 player down for Complexity, but it's the damage numbers. It's the shields being low for Complexity, which allows Gamers First to take those rockets for free.
Complexity forced to back off to regen shields, and just those few seconds of time is all that Gamers First needed to take map position to grab this power weapon. Their lead now extended to 7-point advantage at just past that halfway mark, and Precision still has 1 rocket left to play with.
This is just like game 1. Gamers First had the edge. game 2, or excuse me, Complexity then takes it right back. In this early going of game 2, Complexity has the edge, and then Gamers First emphatically takes it right back, maintaining that 7-kill lead. Precision shooting 4 shots into the back of an unsuspecting Tusk for the killing spree.
And now it's a 2-possession game with that 8-point lead. The next round of Slays either keeps Complexity in this game or Gamers First start to run away with it as Slayer games start at 30, and that's where Gamers First have found themselves.
Gamers First taking a 2-possession advantage into the 30. Swish going to continue that with the potential double LDR by KingNick. Swish taking on 2 players for Complexity all by himself, and he takes them both down.
A 1v2. The best case scenario most of the time is to get a kill in a trade. He gets 2 for free.
You're lucky to trade that situation. That is such a huge moment for Swish, and that's a big moment. That's a find your form moment early on Saturday Swish. That is a moment for him individually to build on.
Yo, we got some Halo today. Oh my word. 7-point lead for Gamers First. Complexity, even though Swish got 2 looking free kills, Complexity are finding enough kills to hold their ground. Now they cut what was once an 8-point game down to 5. They can break this into a 1-possession game, but they have to win another round of Slays, and they're running out of time.
This game at a 6-kill mark sits on the precipice of being a 1-possession or 2-possession game after the result of these next 2 kills. He wins the 1v1, takes it to within 5. If he can make it within 4, going into the 40s, Complexity are right back in it.
36 rounds of full auto, high impact. You know that Tony somewhere is liking a play like that from Gilkey with the AR. 5-point game. Swish caught in a corner, caught out, singled out, taken down.
Complexity down 4, but this is almost, you could argue, where they want to be. In a spot where they can reclaim control with one fell swoop, one team wipe, and they're tied.
Holding ground at 4 points down. Precision grabs the Bulldog, extending that lead. 13-9 right now is Precision. He tosses out the spike. Watch out, Swish. Jump out of the way of the damage. Great coordination. Swish goes for the trade.
Great coordination, great communication at a time where Complexity was coming back. Gamers First is starting to shut down any hope of it.
Hope dwindling in this game too. Complexity need to find maybe a last-minute miracle. 7 points down, but only 5 away are Gamers First from tying up this series, and we feel this pace shift.
This one's going to be deadlocked, it feels like, at 1, and Magic, this feels destined for a best of 5. These 2 teams are so evenly matched. The organizations with plenty of history between the 2, just down the road from each other in Austin and Dallas, Texas, as Gamers First looks to tie up this battle for Texas at 1.
Ooh, the battle for Texas happening in Texas right now. Here's Precision. Plenty of ammo in that shotgun left, and with 3 quick shots, he expends the ammo, he finds another kill, and trading out is exactly what Gamers First are looking for. As long as you can trade, go for those fights.
Yeah, one fell swoop like a tidal wave. Even if you lose some collateral damage, it's okay, but Neuronical is going to make it a clean sweep in the feed, and it's finishing with that Stalker Rifle. That is so incredible. The Stalker Rifle really was the key for this game. It was all Complexity in the early goings, and then Gamers First somehow was able to stop that snowball from going down the hill, busted it up with some flames, some heat, Charizard-like, with that Stalker Rifle, only needing 1 more, and that will do it. Victory for G1. We're tied at 1.
A 50-40. The largest lead we've seen in the game was from that final kill, a 10-point advantage. Gilkey early on in the match had some control of the Stalker Rifle, but in the end, it was all G1. And that was the Stalker Rifle Bulldog was the story of the game as we switch over to the parallel matchup.
As we do see Rockets get the double for Sparty. Not often do we see that in the previous game. Sparty now with the triple.
This is his map.
He's the king of streets. We're not surprised. Even if he hit a rampage on land, I would freak out on the broadcast, but I wouldn't necessarily be surprised.
What did he hit that rampage online?
It was online, but it was against Complexity in an HCS Open. So Sparty, I'm not speaking off of fallacy. This is historical context we're providing here, as Sparty has in fact earned himself a rampage on this map against a professional team.
Yeah, the only thing working against Spartan getting a rampage right now is that they're already at 28. So I mean, 28-22 is not impossible just yet. But you never look at, oh, we have too many points for trying to make a prediction. Here we go. That lead now 6 points. This is very kind of reminiscent of the place in the game that we saw the last matchup where G1 had the control at this exact stage.
And this is what you're looking for from Sparty. This is Sparty's role to will with pure passion and energy your team back into a difficult situation, down 1-0 to ascending baseline. It's Sparty McFly rising above the rest to bring the Sentinels roster right back in it.
Okay, but don't look now. Ascending baseline cut that lead to 2, where we just saw Complexity unable to get back in the game. Ascending baseline are willing their way through. It's Posey leading the charge with the Bulldog.
And if Envor and Arctic can kind of slow things down a little bit here, maintain their life a little more, they're edging way too close to that 12 death threshold. All the while, ascending baseline takes the lead.
The double assist from Posey. Another shout out to Nighty for being on the correct POV to see the lead switching hands on a 7-kill streak. We saw Ascending Baseline. They were at 26-30, and now it's 33-30. 7 unanswered kills.
Yeah, I came into this matchup ready to talk about how Sentinels is bouncing back with the likes of Sparty, and
same.
As soon as we spoke it into existence, it was happening. It disappeared like a poof of smoke. Up in flames is this Sentinel roster potentially. If they go down to ascending baseline, I don't know how they can regain and regroup from a loss like that.
Now, we talked about Posey, but you gotta talk about Super CC. For a long time, he's been one of the most underestimated players in this league, and he's starting to make a name for himself. You need to watch out for ascending baseline.
And I'm watching that death marker line for Arctic and Onboard. They've done a great job maintaining their life. Ever since we mentioned that, they have not gone down because of it. They're not only able to maintain this lead, but they're looking to build on it here. Boo Boo though, with control of that ever-important stalker rifle. That should tie the game back up at 34 as it does. Ascending baseline up narrowly. Now, no, Sentinels with the use of Boo Boo and that stalker rifle regain the lead.
Some signs of life here from the Sentinels. Boo Boo finds the kill to take back the lead, but this is all the makings of 49-50
yeah.
Here on the streets as Boo Boo on the flank finds the free kill for the killing spree, opting to use that bandit in coordination with the Bulldog, sets up the spike grenades for the assist.
And this is usually, again, going back to Sparty, this is what he does. He pops off, and then when you see Sparty pop off as his teammate, you're like, oh, I gotta pop off too. That's exactly what Boo Boo has thought in his head as he is the killing spree, I believe 6-7 kills in a row now.
Yep.
It's that difference maker in this match that has Sentinels up to heading into the 40s.
I asked this question yesterday. Why are we seeing more bandit pickups? This is a little bit unusual, but it's the difference between a LAN tournament and online. That precision that the bandit allows is even more deadly when we're sharing the same server. So you see Boo Boo with laser point accuracy utilizing this bandit.
A little bit of a standoff here. That's because Rockets are up in 5, but the break is on. These two teams vying for those Rockets in mid-map control, heading into a crucial endgame scenario. The Rockets are up.
And just as ascending baseline tossed the drop wall, teammate deletes it by shooting out the base. Boo Boo rounds the corner at the exact second, gets a couple of rounds of fire off for the damage. His position has been revealed, and he is running out of ammo. He has a total of, 16 bullets left to work with. That Bulldog is out.
And ascending baseline, they can still come back in this, but they've got to slow down the pace. Arctic now over that 12 death threshold, Onboard creeping up on it at 11. And the Rockets in the hands of Falcated aren't going to make things any easier as Sentinels has regained control of this match.
A 5, make it 6-point lead as Spartan finds a kill. Spartan finds the double, Stalker in his hands. 6-point advantage, and the home stretch is here. Sentinels, they found that energy. They have the strong early game, and it looks like they have the strong end game as well. Ascending baseline had that mid game, but it hasn't been enough.
Sentinels looking left and right at each other saying, this is what it should look like. This is what it should feel like. Let's carry this on to the rest of this series because we should not be going down to the likes of an open bracket team. Ascending baseline are an incredible roster, but this is Sentinels we're talking about. These are the world champs we're talking about. Obviously not this roster, but this organization. Such a storied history here in Halo as they secure the tie here in this series, taking that game 2 where it looked a little mixy. We actually got on board with this match with Ascending baseline in the lead, but Sentinels stole it right back, tied the series up at 1, just like our coinciding main match between G1 and Complexity. Magic, we're heading to something like a Game 5. I can feel it.
On possibly both of these. These series so far have been like a mirror image. Even the score line there, it was a 42-50 on the side of Sentinels win, and then here for Gamers First, it was that 40-50. It was 40-50.
Okay, 40. So pretty close, but yeah, these I don't know. It's wild because we said Complexity and Gamers First were really close, evenly matched. Maybe the likes of Ascending Baseline and Sentinels are pretty evenly matched as well. I don't know. It's all on the table this weekend. We're going to see new stars rise, and I think that's a part of the excitement in esports and Halo in particular is, we got the old guard Halo, a game that's been competed and played for 20-plus years. You got a lot of the OG veterans, but I'm all about these new up-and-coming players making a name for himself, the likes of Posey in particular.
Love it.
Oh, on this villainous arc, taking down Proton Gaming to get here today, and if he takes down Sentinels as well, he is putting the entire Halo world on notice.
I remember shouting out Posey back at, I want to say at Charlotte, because I was watching his stance when he competes. He doesn't look left, he doesn't look right, he is honed in on his monitor, leaning in, locking in on his monitor. And I said there's something about how a competitor even sits at their station that tells you. And Posey, every single time I've seen him, he has the same exact demeanor, countenance, position. It's that consistency factor.
Yeah, and that's what that's the ability to recreate that humble pie, or not something, so excuse me, not humble pie, but that home-cooked pie when you're playing at home. If you're able to be as comfortable as you can at home on LAN, you're going to be an incredible LAN player. Some of the ways you can do that is by acting the exact same way all throughout. Posey locked in and focused as we lock in now on this Game 3 Aquarius CTF Complexity versus Gamers First, vying for a potential second-place finish or even first in their pools.
This is the swing game of the series. And the heat wave in the hands of Neuronical, but 3 go down for Gamers First, and Swish, as the last alive, is making plays.
Even in the kill feed here, 3 down, or 3 up, I should say, excuse me, for each team as we hop on board here with Neuronical, looking to get some opening damage on those top mid players right now. Complexity has that mid-map control, and on symmetrical maps, Magic, the mid-map even more important.
Mid-map is more important, especially with that high ground vantage point. You can help your team to run a flag. You can stop a flag run if you have that top mid control. A little bit of the best of both worlds from that oversight position. Precision, meanwhile, in the bottom of the turbine area is going to unfortunately find the sidekick from Gilkey across the map. We have Huss scrambling away for his life, and it's Neuronical's double kill that's going to keep Gamers First stabilized just when things were looking dicey.
Yeah, that's it's tied 0-0 early, but Complexity has the early edge with that map presence and control of the Gamers First side of the base. You can really see them using that generator side to power this push as 2 push into the 1 for Swish. Now Swish has a teammate support, and Swish again finds the double kill in a moment where they need it most. Swish clutches up.
This is back-to-back times we've seen the clutch up plays from Gamers First. Neuronical stops the first push from Complexity with a double, and now Swish does more of the same. But Gamers First, they need to build their own momentum off of this, as Neuronical is not stopping. Precision helps to secure that kill.
Gamers First now looking how Complexity looked in the opening going, but Complexity never got a pull. Gamers First with danger on the screen for Complexity as the flag is away. Can they score the first one of this game?
Even that melee, it didn't come out with the trade, but it was the stall factor. This flag is out in the middle of the map. Active camo should be in the hands of Gamers First as Huss slid past it to secure the flag touch.
I don't know. No, camo's still up. Huss with that use of the thrust actually maintained, I think, 1 or a half of a thrust. It was an instantaneous bang play, not able to collect the camo. But the flag he did collect. That's the focus. You focus on the OBJ. The camo is sort of a side quest. The main quest is that flag. Gamers First looking to complete the quest. Scores first.
Main quest achieved for Gamers First with that first capture on the board and not even needing the use of camo. Camo is still sitting at top mid because as important as top mid control is, it's a high risk, high reward because you are exposed.
1-0 lead for Gamers First. It's a hard-fought 1-0 lead as they've started to build that early momentum. And after previously scoring, I'm looking for the mid-map control. They've regained mid-map control, but it all lies on Swish staying alive.
Where's Camo? Camo is gone. I'm going to have to assume it got burned because knowing the proficiency of our observer, if it was in play, we would have it on the screen. On board right now with Precision. Goes in for the melee trade. 2 go down for each side.
And I like this play from Huss. Did you see that pulled flag? Realized with all 4 players alive on each team, didn't have the numbers to continue on, dropped the flag, started to slay. That flag gets reset, but again, it's the distraction of having to reset the flag that takes 2 down for Complexity, and Gamers First should get right back in their base.
They're winning the round of slays when they need to. They won rounds of slays when they need to hold the defense. They win a round of slays on the offense for the first cap, and it looks like they might do more of the same here. Huss trying to regen his life. He re-engages in that fight, maybe a half second too early. Needed a more shield for the fight.
Yeah, Swish and Huss going down. That's going to open up the potential for Complexity to retake mid-map control. Most importantly, the camo up in 5.
Back-to-back camos. How long the last round of camos sat at top mid means that this set of camo seems to be right on the backside of it.
Somebody got it.
Has been picked up.
I believe it's Tusk. I heard that camo. It's not Tusk though. It's Gilkey. Gilkey like a ghost in the night. Flanking into the G1 base. Flag is out.
Mikowski is faked out. 90 is faked out. Let's pretend like I knew where the camo was.
Well, that means Gamers First is probably faked out. They were.
And he's taking advantage. Finish off that kill, Gilkey. Tosses a grenade, but how much time he spent cleaning up the last shot of that kill means he has to fall back. He still has the last seconds of camo as you hear it dwindling out. Wasn't enough though.
All right, tie game 1-1, and Complexity is looking to go back-to-back, landing the hands with the reversal. 2 down for Gamers First. Complexity, can they stay alive on their side? Huss goes down, that's 3 down. Numbers advantage for Complexity, and a huge win for Tusk as he takes down Neuronical. That's going to continue the flag run, but no!
Suppressed, picking up where teammate left off. There are dead bodies flying left and right. That flag still sitting at bottom mid. Heatwave in Gilkey's control. Gilkey with the incredible camo play set up the time capture.
And Gilkey's first priority for Gamers First, because he's in their base with that Heatwave, he is the first priority. As another flag goes out, you've got to take down Gilkey, and now you got to worry about taking down KingNick. This is looking like a likely potential pull for Complexity, but Gamers First starting to slow the feed down a little bit, but they still go 3 down.
Complexity have the numbers advantage. Gilkey's opened up the play. KingNick followed up. That flag run is stopped short, somehow off of the respawns. Gamers First are able to stabilize. Neuronical finds another double kill to hit double digits.
It might as well be WWE Raw out here because we're seeing nothing but hands thrown and bodies flying too. Gamers First looking to regain control of the map. This has been such a highly contested match at the midway point. We're directly tied, but 4 go down for Gamers First, but it's on their side of the map. However, it's with camo up, so that is a huge team wipe for Complexity. They're the winners of the camo because of it.
Tusk was the lone survivor. Some post-apocalyptic scene happened here where 7 players were on the respawn screen, and Tusk, like a zombie apocalypse survivor, finds the resource in the active camo to now create some offensive forge, taking the fight right back.
Tusk, such an important member. Is he going to go for the camo pull? Yes, he is. Is he going to go for the almost Argyle-like strategy where he continues on with that flag in his hands with camo? And the answer is yes.
It's enough to get him past the 50-yard line. He's in the home stretch to take the lead for Complexity. Precision dealt out some damage, but it's not enough. Look at Gilkey's angle to keep Precision stopped from being able to peek, and that's 2 caps for Complexity back-to-back to take the lead.
Yeah, Precision didn't like what he saw there on that potential stop of the flag, and I kind of like that. It's like rotating early on a hill or a stronghold that you know you cannot stop. I like that heads-up play there from Gamers First to not overextend to stop a flag that they had no chance of stopping.
Yeah, Precision had no hope of winning that fight. The best he could do was preserve his life and hope for a counter cap opportunity, but there are still 2 down on the side of Gamers First. Complexity finding a way to keep numbers advantage.
This is big. And this feels like with how tough it's been to get a score, much less the flag out. Was that a next score wins scenario for Complexity going up 2-1?
It's too early.
It's a little too early for that, but you can argue they surely do take the edge going into the endgame.
Yeah, if Complexity, if it was a 3-1, okay, I might be convinced. But 2-1 with 4+ minutes, there's enough time. Gamers First had a strong early game. They need to find a strong late game to get back in this. But with Gilkey hitting shots like that, he is part of 25 kills.
Gamers First just doesn't have the numbers advantages more often than not. We've seen 3 go down in the feed, and it's not only it's not the flag pulls that has led to for Complexity. It's the camo that's been the difference in this game. We saw the camo pull arguably get that second score in for Complexity. Without the camo, this game's still tied.
The camo is going to be back in play. The flag has been pulled. Neuronical, finally, they gained some footing for G1 in the back of their own base, which Complexity felt like they had moved in and taken over residence. Neuronical finds a double kill to help them stabilize. The flag is still up for grabs, but it's out in the open. I anticipate this being a reset unless a miracle play happens.
Gamers first, able to take down the flag and the camo. Does that spell a changing of the guard for them? No, another pull goes out for Complexity. So Complexity, despite going down in number, despite getting that flag reset, they've done a great job to almost use offense as a defense as they've maintained pressure in that G1 base.
Swish finds 2 players, caught like fish in a barrel in the bottom of blue utility, tosses the frag, and all he catches on the end of his hook is 1 assist.
It's not what you're looking for if you're going fishing.
An assist?
Yeah, at that point you're just
like a chunk of seaweed. That's not a fish.
At that point you're just enjoying the scenery. A nice afternoon out on the lake because the fish aren't biting and the flags aren't either. Until Huss pulls a flag, has it past the halfway mark, looking to speed run his way, hits the G slide. That's so huge. He's going to take some damage right here. He would have been at maybe arguably 25% shield had he not hit that movement tech. Is it enough to tie this game up at 2? Yes, we're tied. 2.5 left. 2-2.
Tusk ran that flag, a speed run, and he made it 100% of the distance. He picked up the flag, he dunked the flag on the other side of the map. 2 minutes and change left, each team with 2 captures. This might be the next cap win scenario.
Yes, now we're in that next cap win scenario, but I gotta give credit to Huss, who scored that flag without numbers advantage really for Gamers First. He kind of, like you said, speed run it. Because of Huss running that flag without numbers down for Complexity, that's allowed them to counter cap here and potentially make it a 3-2 game.
All right, Gilkey's running the flag. Gilkey has it all the way at the back of Complexity, and just like that, that's the counter cap. Complexity were quick on their response.
And that was because you could argue Gamers First skipped the process. They scored, but they skipped the process, didn't take down enough members of Complexity to be able to protect their base after previously scoring. Too many resources used for Gamers First, not enough down for Complexity. Because of it, they counter and take the 3-2 lead with just 90 seconds left.
And that speaks to the experience of this Complexity roster. They saw that one weakness. Even while Gamers First was getting the game-tying capture, they were ready to strike back swiftly. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this game. Neuronical at that key top mid control has the heat wave, but a little bit too far of range to put it to work yet. He needs to stay alive.
Yeah, but look at the bunching of Complexity in that yellow base. A grenade, a well-timed grenade could take down the damage of 2 or 3. As 2 do go down, but for Gamers First, now 2-2 in the feed tied. Neuronical with the heat wave in his hand. You could argue the game is 2.
That might be the game-winning play if they can secure this capture. They can force it to an overtime or a sudden death opportunity, but it's Gilkey who hops onto the reset. Nobody from Gamers First is within range to stop that flag from being reset, and now only 45 seconds left for Gamers First.
Gilkey goes down, but he secures the reset. 2 down for Complexity, 2 down for Gamers First. Neuronical looking to make a hero play, a potential double to wipe Complexity and give G1 the map presence they need to tie this one up.
And he finds his way back to the heat wave that he left there in the courtyard. I believe it has 2 rounds left, and the teammate Swish approaching from the left. Complexity are in the back of their base playing defense. The next round of slays could determine, and the next round of slays goes to Complexity.
And that will likely do it, if not for a 1v4 from Precision. Complexity is going to take game 3. They're going to take the edge in this series and go up 2-1.
An extended 4 down here for Gamers First means they do not have enough time off of the respawns to make it to the base. Complexity with those back-to-back captures early on, and then that quick response for the 3rd cap is enough for them to take the lead in the series.
Oh, we do have a mirror match, Magic. Look at this, 2-2 tied, just like we saw previously. Is this deja vu, or are we in the Matrix?
I don't know. I don't remember having the option for a red or blue pill, so I'm going to have to assume that this is just a severe case of deja vu.
Well, who are you taking, the red or blue team here? Because despite the underdog matchup, this one is deadlocked.
Are you straight up asking me?
Yes, I'm asking. Who do you
I'm going to go with setting baseline.
I feel that
I doubted them yesterday, and so I got to learn my lesson.
I feel that too. It just feels like the scrappiness, the back against the wall, and it's the we got nothing to lose-ness.
And it would be consistent with Complexity winning over G1.
Yeah, I mean, we set the stage. We've been talking about that going into the boot camp yesterday. Watch out for these 4-seeded pool play teams. They will not finish in the 4 seed. There are going to be plenty of upsets. The camo got to keep an eye on it. Arctic spots it. Unbelievable camo-wise. Can he stay alive? Can he take down that camo? All the while, that flag in the base looking for a reset. Sparty with a huge back smack on Arctic. Has that pull and a potential 3-2 lead. Can they hold on to it? No, a flag gets out. That's going to cause a mixy situation. Ascending with a clutch pull. But look at that. They weren't able to get it to drop onto the thrust. It's going to be a little easier for Sentinels to reset this.
No, that would have been the difference. If they'd gotten it off the platform, it would have bought them more time. But still, the control is in the hands of Sentinels. They hold on to the flag in the back of the base. They're not stepping on the reset. They're almost like waiting out the timer right now. But Valkated doesn't want to wait. He's doing both. He's running the flag to the cap, getting the reset. Spartan runs through. But look at the resources spent. Ascending have the numbers.
And that's why that was a tough sequence there for Ascending baseline. They get the pullout, but by keeping it on the flag stump, you saw Sentinels, they were able to return that and score all in one fell swoop. But now Ascending, they have a flag out.
Ascending nearly at the point of the game where this is a must.
This is gonna tie.
Opportunity. This would tie up the game. It was once again the scenario where Sentinels got the capture, but spent too many resources to secure it. And now 3 go down for Ascending. Spartan is here on the return, and I don't think anyone can make it in time. They lose that cap. They're down to 2.5 minutes.
In what looked like could be a tie game, Sentinels clutch up, and it's Sparty McFly, the passion, leading Sentinels again in this series, potentially looking at a 2-1 lead over this scrappy Ascending roster.
Posey finds a pick. 3 go down for Sentinels. Valkated is the last alive, and the flag is being snuck out of the base right in front of him, and he can't overextend. He doesn't have the help.
Surely this scores right. Surely this scores right. Super CC has it into the base with full shields. And you gotta hold your breath because there's gonna be some damage coming down. He goes down too. Super CC was not able to score, but his teammate was. Ascending tied up at 3-2 to go.
3 captures for Ascending baseline, and all 3 dunked by Posey. You know, he had to help with Arctic on that flag run, but at the end of the day, Posey was the one to get the job done. We're below 2 minutes, and it's a deadlocked 3-3 tie, but the next flag for Sentinels, the quick retribution, and they sprint across the map. We were still talking about the last capture.
Back and forth we go. In a matter of 90 seconds, we see 3 scores. 2, though, for Sentinels. Because of that, they have the 4-3 lead. Can Ascending baseline come back in this match? They're going to need the numbers advantage to do so, but again, Sentinels with that slaying prowess. Now it's the likes of Boo Boo Doo, and it's been that Falcon and Boo Boo Doo are the duo on this team, but it's really been more Sparty Boo Boo Doo to me.
Maybe that's the new duo. I could see it. I could see it. Boo Boo Doo with the killing spree. That triple kill. 90 was looking for the overkill, but not yet. 3 kills now for Ascending baseline. Spartan is the last player alive.
Interesting, Sentinels up 1 with 1 to go. They play for that 5th cap. Because of it, they might get counter-capped as Ascending is into the base, and that's a huge takedown. Massive win, but Posey takes down Lethal. It's tied in the feed, 3-3. This could go any direction.
Arctic doubles back to get that top mid control. You still have 2 players from Ascending baseline pushing up on the base. Arctic needs to win out this fight to maintain any map control because this flagpole has to go the distance with 35 seconds left on the clock. Arctic holding on to top mid control could be the difference maker.
Valkated's goal there was to stay in the base of Ascending baseline, give them something to think about, but he goes down. That's going to open up the poll and a potential tie here, 4-4, 20 seconds left to go.
Super CC gets the double kill, and with that melee takedown, 3 go down for Sentinels. We're tied 4-4 with 15 seconds on the clock.
They're going for the double cap.
Baseline. They're right back in the base.
They're going for the double cap, and they have Valkated down. Numbers advantage for Ascending baseline. Can they pull off the miracle comeback upset here in sudden death?
They still have control of that flag. 1 second on the clock. We're going to hit that sudden death timer, but Spartan takes down Super CC, who was the player running that flag. I don't know if there's anyone from Ascending baseline that can get there in time. Maybe one player, maybe Posey. No, it's overtime for us.
Woo! Wow, we have been treated to some incredible bonus Halo here today. I am so glad we didn't miss any of these matchups because you could argue they've been the best in the tournament so far.
Can you imagine a phone broadcast of these? Can you imagine?
Oh, don't break my heart just by thinking about it.
The players need this spotlight. The viewers need to see these matches.
This is what Halo wants. This is what Halo needs. And this is what Halo gets. The grassroots, the community, the open bracket teams coming to face off against the world's best. And they're giving them a hell of a fight.
Oh, Super CC, he snuck away with that active camo. 20 kills and 14 assists for Super CC. What can he do with the active camo? Spartan, he has to retreat. He doesn't have the numbers to fight.
Uh-oh. Sparty gets set packing. He gets set running all the while. Super CC and Ascending baseline take that map control to turn it into camo control. Should turn into a pole, but Sentinels has a flag out instead.
Looks like it might be Boo Boo Jubu running the flag here for Sentinels. Super CC.
Oh my God.
He doesn't want to overextend.
Oh no, it happened again.
He didn't toss the flag off the platform quite far enough. He was so set on playing defense that he didn't pull off the offensive play.
Oh, and you could very well argue with Arctic's positioning at the thruster. If that flag goes to the opposite thruster, that's a pretty free kill trying to reset that flag. That is so unfortunate that in 2 instances, ascending baseline, do well enough to get that flag out, but they aren't able to get it off the stump and down to that thruster location because of it. Sentinels ice up despite the heavy presence and push from ascending baseline, and they take the 2-1 lead in that series. Hover, on our main series between Complexity and Gamers First, it is that open bracket team taking the 2-1 lead.
This is the first time between these two matchups that we see a little bit of a disparity, right? The team that was guaranteed that pool play, G1, and on the other side, Sentinels. In this case, G1 have to fight back from the deficit with that Game 3 going to Complexity, and then on the other side, Sentinels take back advantage. But a hard-fought advantage in that overtime 5-4 victory, but all sights are set on a game number 4. For both series, this could end it right here, but we know, we're feeling Game 5s on both sides.
Yeah, this just feels like a Game 5 potential. This Hive roster previously with an incredible record on King of the Hill. Not sure what their specific record was on Streets, but I know that Gamers First, a great King of the Hill team. And so often it comes down to the series layout, and I feel like this series layout has been destined for a Game 5 ever since the very beginning.
What is it going to take from Gamers First to secure King of the Hill? Is there a player? Is there something about this team that you think lends to them having superiority in King of the Hill?
Ice. They just got to ice up. At this rate, down 2-1, Gamers First just needs the ice. They can't overthink
yesterday.
And they did, yes, they did yesterday. Down 2-1 to Navi.
Down by the main stage. Yep. We had to watch that series, and I think you were a little nervous on that Game 5.
Oh, I was.
There was a significant deficit of points until Gamers First got back.
That was huge. That was huge for Gamers First as an organization because historically, Gamers First had never won a Game 5 when they were down 1-2 in a series. So the ice was simply not there. It was yesterday against Navi. Can they bring that same intensity here against Complexity? Again, I think you ask, what does Gamers First need to do? They don't need to switch it up just because they're down 2-1 here to Complexity. They need to stick to their guns, stick to the tried and true, and really lean into that Coach Hoaxer who provides that experience as a championship-winning coach. I think you got to lean on that here, down 2-1, looking at these games 4 and 5.
And in that Game 2 of the series, which was a Streets matchup as well, Gamers First were the ones that came out with the win. Obviously, a big difference between a Slayer and a King of the Hill, but it came down to Bulldog and Sentinel being control. Rockets were, for the most part, kind of a non-factor between these two teams, and it was really those secondary power weapons that shined in the hands of Gamers First, especially late stages of the game.
And that was their focus. That was the strategy on Game 2 on Streets. So we're going back to Streets. And we have an incredible matchup. If Gamers First can emphasize the Stalker like they did at the end game and make it a little less tight and cheek clinchy in the beginning, I think they very well take this King of the Hill Streets. We mentioned King of the Hill, a great game type for Gamers First, and here on Streets, they've already shown what they can do with that sandbox if they can control it. I think they control this match, control this game, win this game, send us to that Game 5.
Do Rockets have more of an impact in a King of the Hill than they would in a Slayer? Because you have information on where players are because of that objective.
With Rockets on King of the Hill, you kind of have an idea of where the players are going to push from and push for because they're pushing for Hill, and you can easily set up and bait and wait with those Rockets.
All right, let's see if Rockets have more of an impact than we saw on the Slayers. They are changing hands, now in the hands of Neuronical. Time on the hill pretty even, but Neuronical knows his teammates have control of that objective. That gives him time to look for the push. In fact, he might catch a player around the corner. He finds the kill. It's on KingNick, although dealing himself a lot of damage in the process. Luckily for him, Gamers First with the numbers, winning fights on the other side of the map.
Patient, calculated use of those rockets from Neuronical as he waited almost 2 minutes to use that second rocket in the tube. And look at this, unsuspecting positioning at bottom A, able to take down one because of it, but a huge answer back for Complexity, finally taking Neuronical down.
But we're looking at those secondary power weapons. It's the Stalker Rifle, 1 burst left, 4 precision to work with. He finally is forced off of the hill as Huss is taken down. Tries to land the first plasma, but the second connects. In fact, there's a player in Arcade who's left at 1 shot, and Neuronical is here off the respawn screen.
And that trade is what allowed Gamers First to steady at 2-2. They go down 2 again in the feed. as Huss looks to pick up where his teammates left off with a double kill. Grenade comes in, I'm not sure where from, but what matters most is that Huss secures the double. Can Gamers First secure this hill?
Please can we cue that up as a replay, because I think that it was a friendly frag. I did not see Huss toss off frag there. I think it was a friendly frag that gave Huss the double kill.
It almost blew up. It was almost like a friendly nade. Yes.
The opponent's grenade out here?
Maybe because Huss did get a grenade icon in the feed, so you might be looking at a remote detonation. It not only occurs on the starting spawning point for those grenades, but you can shoot those out of the hand of an opponent or even if they're on the ground.
I think that's what's happened, but it's neither here nor there. Right now, Gamers First have a few seconds left to win, and with those two slays, it's going to buy them the last 5 seconds. Huss, right back from the respawn screen, hops on the hill and locks it down.
Now, does Complexity, with all 4 down, get that C-spawner? Does Gamers First rotate it after scoring? That is absolutely huge. So often, 3-4-3, the spawn system looks to help out that team that went 4 down. You'll often see them spawn at C with that hill spawning there too, but Gamers First get the team wipe, get the first hill, and get the early rotation on number 2.
You know, I'm going to have to shout out Tools one more time. He was talking about the flank plays, and that's a flank rotation to the next hill, and the key is timing. The timing from Gamers First was right as they got the capture. They already had numbers for hill number 2, and look at the results of it. 2/3 of this hill captured.
And it's been the slays. Look at the slaying prowess. Quick math, you can tell Gamers First has a big edge. 1-3-2 for 3 players for Complexity. Those mirrored images on the other side are 7-5-4. So nearly a 2-to-1 rate of outslaying for Gamers First. A 2-0 lead for them potentially, but no, 3 go down. This is going to be Complexity's chance to fight right back.
But Gamers First only need to break through 1 time, about 10 seconds away from securing this hill. They have to get through Tusk, 2 rounds of the Bulldog left, and unfortunately, Huss could have focused Tusk. Tusk was there, but maybe a little bit of misinformation, focusing on the wrong kill at the wrong time.
Precision. You hope he calmed and let the coach know Shotgun just got depleted.
Yes.
That is going to be up in 60 seconds. That is going to be a key point of contention, especially when looking, if in 60 seconds we're still at C, the winner of Shotgun is going to win C.
All right, it's going to be at about the 2:35 mark. I want to say that Bulldog is back in play, but we'll see. It's hard. You can't tell from the clock because clock stops when a team is on the objective. So that's a bad call for me.
No, roughly at around, it could be around the roughly 2:30, maybe the 3-minute mark at this point. It'd be a bad call, but great gameplay from Gamers First as they've secured that 2-0 lead. Rockets as well, and I love that. The rocket misses, but Precision has eyes on the finish, and Swish has Promethean vision on Gilkey as he goes down. 3 go down, though, for Gamers First, despite the rocket control. And Complexity with, again, a chance to come back. They've always had those chances in this Game 4, but they haven't taken the emphasis on it, haven't taken much control of the hill. It's really been all G1.
Yeah, it was Tusk at the back of the tower there for Complexity being a nuisance, finds 2 kills and then stalls for time. Gilkey is right back with those spike grenades, but he's kind of flanked here. He feels the shot from behind. He's going to give that information to Suppress, but he wasn't able to do enough damage to set up an assist.
On hill 3, the bottom mid hill. This is the first time we've seen Complexity have the lead on a particular hill over G1, but G1 takes it right back. G1 able to get 75% unanswered on the first 2 hills, and they're looking to do it right back on the 3rd.
Hill number 3 is the toughest capture out in the open, sightlines from every corner of the map. Huss is going to rotate here, might look for a B-rail position, but if he does, he's going to run into Suppress. He has the AR at the ready and shreds, only using 2/3 of the clip to do so.
Oh, just as the feed started to drop for G1, Huss clutches up with that assault rifle, the trusty tried and true from the Halo CE era, getting all the way back to 2001. Still using that weapon as a focal point. A much more highly contested 3rd hill as Complexity now regains the lead.
Neuronical with the perfect kill in that VR. He goes for the double kill, but it's Tusk who is 12-7. Once again, locking it down for Complexity. The only original member of that Complexity roster before Roster Mania hit, and right now, Tusk is the only thing keeping Complexity in the fight. They need to secure this hill. They cannot afford to go down 3-0.
1 down for Complexity and 1 final push here for Gamers First. It looks like as Complexity is on the brink of getting their first score on the board, but Swish, with the help of Precision, is doing a great job. The bait and switch is on, and that is one of my favorite plays in Halo. Both members of G1 utilizing that bait and switch to both stay alive. And look at this, it trickles down onto that Stalker rifle control. That's a massive play.
Precision and Swish, a huge duo level play, locked in, and it's enough to lock in
Massive.
a 3-0 lead. Gamers First has been a team of 4 under new names. It seems like every tournament, this team of 4 has changed names, but nonetheless, the teamwork is there regardless of whose banner they're under.
Once again, 3 go down for Complexity and 3 go up on the scoreboard. Swish with another big win on Gilkey. And this is big. You want to talk about icing up? One of the ways you ice up is not just by executing and clutching up in the moment, but you got to start to build back some momentum for yourself, right? In ice up situations, it usually is that because you're down, right? So for Gamers First, they're carrying, if they continue at this rate, a hell of a lot of momentum in a Game 5.
Okay, we're already setting sights on a Game 5. I think that's fair because this monumental lead that Gamers First have accumulated, I don't even expect them to step foot on the hill. They have a 3-0 lead and a minute 30 on the clock. They're going to use the clock as their 5th teammate.
Yeah, and that's something we saw a lot of pre-patch before these King of the Hill changes where you can score instantaneously upon setting foot in that hill. We see a lot more matches go to score because of it, but here in this one, I agree, Magic. I feel like this one's going to go to time, but I don't know. You start parking the bus. You start playing not to lose. What happens? You usually lose. I don't know if Gamers First is in a situation where that might happen because even at a 3-1 game, it's still 90 seconds to score twice on streets. That's going to be extremely tough to do, especially so now that Complexity go 3 down, 4 down. That should really help this Gamers First cause.
Yeah, that should tick off a good 20-30 seconds of time, at least, maybe more if Gamers First can win a couple rounds of slays, and they're positioned to do just that. Precision might be in trouble. He's separated over on the B side, but Swish does have that shroud screen, could use it for a strategic retreat or even to help with a teammate. He uses it instead for that rocket pickup. Precision, meanwhile, gets a triple kill, including a ninja.
And that's okay. Swish goes down, but he depleted the... No, Swish goes down, but the rockets go into favor of Neuronical.
Because Precision got the triple kill on the other side of the map, the timing of those rounds of slays were in perfect unison.
45 seconds left in this game, 3/4 of a minute left, and 3-0 on the board for G1. Looking like they will absolutely send us to a Game 5.
Well, I said they were going to burn, 30 seconds. They burned a full minute of time. It was 1:37 last Complexity was on the hill, and now down to just 32 seconds. It's not about this hill. They need to score 3 captures with only 25 seconds.
It's not even Game 5 yet, but I just felt like this Game 5 adrenaline hit my tummy because I'm getting really excited for what could be one of the most consequential matches of pool play. Navi keeping an eye on this match because if Gamers First goes down, they could fall to the lower bracket. And Complexity with a fresh start, you could argue they could go all the way to the top if they're able to upset the likes of SSG. It's a little early for that, but regardless, there's a lot that's going to come from this. Someone's going to go to losers round 1. Someone's going to go to winners round 1.
Precision is 23-11 in this game. Even as that hill switches, there's only 2 seconds on the clock. Complexity are already in position for the next hill on that Bulldog side, but they'd have to score back-to-back captures with 1 second on the clock. I mean, impossible.
This is the gnat in the ear of G1. They're just looking to swat it, get us to a Game 5. 1 second left on the clock, and I got to give credit to Complexity for fighting all the way through to the finish.
Yes.
As G1 will ultimately secure the Game 4 win. We are heading to that Game 5 that we have all been waiting for.
I want to give you an update on the other side of the match as well. It looks like in the Game 4 between Ascending Baseline and Sentinels, Sentinels had the 2-1 lead after that CTF overtime victory. Going into that Game 4 King of the Hill Streets, Sentinels come out with the win.
Yeah, and we talked about it on the pre-show, the fact that we're playing so early in the morning here, 10:30 a.m. I think Sentinels, they were just waking up. I think to give credit to Ascending Baseline, they earned that first win over Sentinels, but the 3 in a row, it's almost reverse sweep, shows that I think they were just getting started, they were just getting warmed up, they're rubbing the cobwebs out of their eye a little bit, right?
And it was another instance of deja vu like we've seen from these mirrored matchups because it was a 1-3 on that King of the Hill Game 4 as well for Sentinels to lock down the series. 3-1. And now Gamers First, 3-1 in Game 4.
Wow.
But for them,
Empyrean.
it's a different story. They had to force a Game 5, and for us, Mikowski, our first time on Empyrean this weekend, at least, unless you did one with that other caster.
That noob, that nerd Eli. No, we did not get a Game 5. This is our first
Did you
one.
get Empyrean, though?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
And this sets up for what's going to, almost like if you've ever seen those basketball videos on YouTube at Rucker Park, this is going to be a street ball match, right? This is going to be a game of runs. You could see Gamers First score 10 in a row. You could then see Complexity score 10 right back. As we know, Empyrean sets up for a ton of swings.
I'm excited to see this. I love the double snipers in play. We got the overshield and rockets, which cannot be underestimated. But as you mentioned, there could be some quick swings of points because of the sandbox and those locked spawns. So if you're looking at these teams, you said in Game 4, Gamers First are primed for a Game 5. Even before Game 4 was decided, you could feel that momentum shift.
Yeah, and I think for Gamers First, watch out for Precision and Neuronical with those snipers. I am extremely confident in their ability to take over this game. And on the side of Complexity,
Gilkey? KingNick
yeah.
snipes on live fire?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yep. You're going to have to watch out for Gilkey, who we've seen play really well with the sniper on Empyrean, and KingNick with the sniper in his hand just moments ago on live fire, absolutely popping off, taking the faces of G1. So in this match, which features two snipers, keep an eye on Neuronical and Precision for G1, and KingNick and Gilkey for Complexity.
Two snipers on the map, 4 sniper players in the game. Let's see what happens with those power weapons. Right now, it's the fight for rockets. Swish gets a double kill with the use of the frag grenades, and Huss, he picks up, he takes the advantage off of Swish's double kill, has one rocket fired out, but gets nothing for it. That body shot from the snipe means he has to burn rocket number 2.
Yeah, Huss hedging his bets here, feeling like he will go down. I like that play, especially since it's early. It's not the optimal play for Gamers First, but it stops the bleeding. You can't win early, but you can lose early. A compounding snowball mistake from Huss could have spurred that situation, but it's still only a 2-kill lead. Now just 1 for Complexity.
And Precision is all the way in Complexity's base. He's locking down the spawns. As you see the Complexity players forced to spawn back at Needles, it's because of Precision's positioning on the map. And even while locking the spawns, he's finding more kills. He does regen that shield, hopefully in time, because the push is on from Complexity. They're trying to break out of their base.
Huss sneaks through underneath, but Swish goes down. Swish was the distraction for Huss. Huss should go down because Swish goes down, and so too does Precision. So it's sort of a snowball as Swish is the last player alive as he looks to reset spawns over here at Snipe Tower and push back out with some numbers as Complexity takes all of the numbers and goes up by 1 team wipe, 10-6, and there's Gilkey with the aforementioned snipe. We told you to watch out for him, and now G1, they've got to watch out.
A double kill with back-to-back snipes from Gilkey, and he has half of the ammo left to work with if he keeps this up. But it's Huss and Precision on the side of G1 finding a couple of kills, and you see Gilkey responding to that by doubling back. He's the last player alive for the team, and he saves his life. He drops down, catches Huss off guard.
Important to note that for Gamers First, in Game 5 yesterday against Na'Vi, they went down 8-1 in that match and came back and almost spectacular Na'Vi. So Gamers First, they've been down big at the openings before, and they've come right back looking to do just that. They've cut that lead in half to 3. Now 2, Gamers First, bouncing right back. Incredible fight, incredible pushback.
2-point lead now for Complexity. Now it's just 1 as Precision finds the kill, Huss the assist, but it's a trade of kills. It's a scrappy fight. Look at the cover fire. Neuronical trying to keep teammate Precision alive. He's not able to. Gilkey kind of threads the needle with those shots. Neuronical has to retreat, but he's caught out. Complexity up the pace.
And that is a massive win for Complexity. Just as it looked like Neuronical and Precision had a potential spawn trap on Complexity, they push out off their back foot, but Huss and Gamers First regain control of the Rockets. 2 free kills would have us tied back up at 17.
2-point difference, 1 assist advantage.
Oh, the Repulse almost took down Huss.
But it's the Repulsor Overshield combination that Huss has to settle for just 1 kill with those rockets. In fact, a traded kill.
Yeah, not the best utilization of the Rockets here for Gamers First. They've been lucky, or I should say lucky, they've played well enough to secure 2 for 2 on Rockets, but only getting 1 or 2 kills total out of those potential 4. That's a 50% optimal win condition, if you will. That's not enough in Game 5, no less, for G1. They've got to ice up with those rocket control. Got to take advantage. It's not enough to just grab snipe. It's not enough to just grab the rockets. You got to do something with it.
4 rockets for Gamers First. Huss was 0 for 2 on the first rockets. In fact, he had to retreat with his life. And then on the second set of rockets, 1 kill. So out of 4 rockets, 1 kill, but also 1 death. So those rockets once again negated.
Yeah. Complexity doing a great job. And yeah, if you can't get the power weapons or the power-ups, make sure that you take them down immediately. As we saw, pretty good job of that from Huss as he was able to trade out with the overshield for Complexity. So we're seeing that dueling juxtaposition of do you go for the rockets, do you go for the overshield? We saw that battle ensue at the green wall as we have a little bit of a standoff here. Complexity up 2.
A standoff means that the snipers have their way. They find that lane, they find one person over challenging, and then the push is on. Look at Swish, he's moving up. While the opposing sniper, I believe it is Gilkey, holding on to the Complexity tower, Swish is making his way up the map into top sword.
Okay, so interesting to note that the play call here, Gilkey, one of the main snipers for Complexity, has the snipe in his hand, but it's Swish. Someone that you may not expect to have the sniper in his hands with it. Can he clutch up? As we have what feels like an S&D match, neither team wanting to make a mistake. Magic, my guess is that until we see some power weapons or power-ups come up on the map, neither of these two teams are going to move an inch.
Wasn't it that SSG iconic 49-49 sniper battle on Empyrean? Wasn't it a Gilkey versus Eco sniper battle at the end of that game?
Yeah, and Eco won it.
Eco won it. Let's see, Gilkey. What have you learned about sniping on Empyrean to get a little bit of redemption on your sniper name?
1 kill game, 1 set of rockets, 1 set of overshield up now. It's going to be highly contested. Looks like the rockets are, so interesting. Both teams choosing rockets. Neuronical, because of that, gonna get overshield for free. Who has the rockets? If Gamers First can double up on that, that would be huge. And Gamers First, despite sending all the attention towards green, they get the rockets and the overshield. That's huge.
Precision has been turning up this series. 10 and unfortunately 7 as I cast Recursive, but the rockets in his hand, stronger than any rockets we've seen so far in this game. 3 go down for Gamers First, and Gilkey is lining up the shot.
Oh, but look at Neuronical. Oh my goodness, as the last player alive in enemy territory, takes down KingNick and then sneaks away with his life through the long haul, keeping this at a 2-kill game. That was a massive play there from Neuronical.
Oh, and then the 2-tap with the heat wave lines up the perfect shots. KingNick is taken down, and now it's a tied game, 27-all, because of Neuronical's survival.
It's all connected. And Neuronical, he says, I got the heat wave, and that is a morale booster. When someone says, hey man, you're goated with the snipe. I know you can probably do better even than me with it. That's what that says to Precision. And you give it to your main snipe. That is the play call. We saw Swish with it earlier. I like this now. Precision, this is the guy you want with the snipe in his hand.
And that was Neuronical juggling power weapons. It was twice he picked up and dropped the sniper to make sure that it was still there for a teammate. Great heads up, smart plays from Gamers First. They are 1 point down.
Oh, and the Slayers don't start until we head into the 30s, and going into the 30s, we have a tie, or a 1-kill game. Complexity clinging to that lead. Control of sniper, it looks like, in the hands of both teams. So I feel like this is setting up for another standoff. Magic, important to note, 5 minutes left on the clock. We're just over halfway. This could potentially go to time.
You think this could go to time? I mean, with the pacing like this, both teams showing ultimate respect to their opposition. Maybe some of that history is striking. Huss has 5 rounds in the sniper. Earlier we saw the sniper in the hands of, I want to say it was Swish who had the sniper, but now Huss is taking charge.
Huss, the sniper like a hot potato for G1. Who can pop off and take the hot hand with it as Swish repulses Tusk, but Tusk is alive in the party room and he's having a jam out session, if not for Precision. Shutting down the music like an angry neighbor. Gilkey, though, with the dueling sniper rifle, pushes into the sword base. They have 3 taking on the 1. Precision, what can he do in a 1v3 situation? A trade would be a massive win for him, but no, Suppress takes him down cleanly, and so too does Tusk on Huss.
A 5-point lead, a 4-point lead for Complexity, but they have control of both snipers. That's why they had so much emphasis on taking down the player in the party room, because you see a snipe in the hands of Gilkey, another snipe in the hands of Suppressed.
Suppress goes down, and Neuronical doesn't trade out. That is massive, because right now, Down 4 going into the 40s. You cannot afford to trade out as Huss gets another individual win and takes down an opponent. KingNick, though, takes down Huss with the Rockets, but it looked like G1 maintained control of it, however slightly.
Are Rockets the Gamers' first curse in this Game 5? It seems like every time they fight for those Rockets, they give up more lives than they gain. Swish finds a target to help turn around, maybe break that curse with the double kill.
Down 5 going into the 40s. It's going to take a whole lot of ice from Gamers First. They get the hot start with the Rockets. 2 go down in a row, and it's now just a 4-kill game. Can Neuronical stay alive? No, he's going to go down back to 5. Complexity in control in the endgame.
Gilkey is locking down Gamers First. He is forcing those spawns. He is in the tower. Now Huss is approaching desperately, trying to flush him out of this position.
Gilkey looking to just maintain his life. You're going to have to see perfect Halo from Gamers First as they are down 6. Complexity only needs 6.
Gilkey is here. He's down below.
He's go off
being a nuisance. Huss almost flies off the map. He gets Gilkey down to 1 shot. Finally,
Snipers are up.
Down 5-point game.
Snipers are up, and with 3 minutes left, you have enough time to not necessarily crank down the pace, but slow it down. Precision with a couple headshots here could open up potential comeback, but that opening break kill is huge. Tusk goes to the respawn screen all the while. Gamers First 4 up. Looking to take control of that mid-map control, and right now, the game is in Precision's hands. It comes down to whether or not he can hit a couple hit shots, and in Halo Infinite, you rarely see matches come down to an individual's performance, but it feels like it might just happen right here.
Gamers Force might have 4 players up, but they are 4 points down, 1 possession, and this is the last slowdown before the final fight breaks loose with 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
And with these snipers up, you can bait a team into taking over the power weapon. So I'm really curious to see who takes that kind of first step towards that first step onto the dance floor, towards Rockets or Overshield. You might just get sniped in the face for choosing so.
I want to see Gamers First almost bait Rockets. They've given up too many lives, and they don't have lives to give up.
He spotted Gilkey. Gilkey with the sniper.
Precision hits the body shot onto the opposing sniper. Swish is making that play for Rockets. Gilkey's kind of trapped at the back of Long Haul. He's trying to scope Long Haul, but the fight has shifted. Complexity find the first pick as Neuronical goes down.
Yeah, 4 pings in the feed on that side of the map. You can sense the emphasis for Complexity to take down that particular player as Gilkey goes down to 1 shield, only though needs 1 shot to send Complexity on the brink of winning this series, only needing 1 more.
Tusk finds a kill to give us this 49-42. Gamers First need 8 straight kills or the upset is here. Complexity, an org known for their upsetting ability, and Gilkey with potentially the last kill in his mag. He has 10 rounds of that sniper to work with.
Yeah, you could argue the 10 rounds in that sniper is like a 5th teammate for Complexity, and you could argue the clock is their 6th, because with 1 minute left to go, 7 kills separating Gamers First. This is the moment where you want to crank down the pace and slow things down, but they don't have the opportunity because of the clock.
They only have 1 minute. 7 points to overcome. That's 2 team wipes, and Gilkey with the nasty flick of the snipe.
Filthy.
He might have had 10 rounds to work with. He only needed 1.
And did you see that? That was a quick scope magic, but the game gave him a no scope. He was literally pixel perfect with the timing, with the accuracy. Gilkey, we told you to watch out for him with the snipe, and that's exactly why. As he no scope, quick scope, almost like a Halo. That was Halo 3. That was a Halo 3. That's almost like that's what you see. That's what you used to see from Halo 3. It was like that was a no scope, right? Because it wasn't fully zoomed in yet, but he was zooming in. And that is, wow, that is some of the incredible prowess. You see that YY switch to the BR, pulled him out of the scope. He was in the process of scoping in. I don't think Gilkey going for the no-scope. I don't know, maybe he's trying to hit trick shots in main stage montages, but an unbelievable performance nonetheless. And it was that main sniper for Complexity being the difference as Gilkey ices up, and so too does Complexity.
The upset is in for Complexity, a team with familiar names, a partner team in HCS coming through open bracket, and their first match of the day. They are here to play. This match could be the deciding factor between upper and lower bracket of that champ bracket.
And keep in mind, I mentioned earlier, it's on the table for Complexity to take first in this pool. I know it's crazy because you got SSG who had the #1 seed at the last tournament, but let's talk about Gamers First. They gave SSG a hell of a series earlier, and Complexity just beat Gamers First. So I'm expecting maybe even another Game 5 between Complexity and SSG. Can't wait to see the rest of their pool play matches here as we continue on Saturday.
You know, a tough loss for Gamers First, but they have a little bit of time. Now all they can do is watch and see what Complexity does against the other teams in that pool. Gamers First, they have to keep their hands off the wheel. They have no more control of the outcome of their positioning.
Yeah, and you're just praying for a third-place finish, I feel like, at this point, hoping you can get to lower bracket 1 and keep your tournament hopes alive. We know Gamers First is capable of making a run based on what they did at DreamHack Dallas, winning, I believe, 2 rounds from the lower side. So can they do that again? We're going to have to look for a repeat history performance if Gamers First wants to secure that top 8 once again.
Well, this is just the first of 3 rounds of pool play. And then after that, today picks up the championship bracket. We have a long day of amazing Halo coming up in front of us. We want to see what these open bracket teams can do in the next 2 rounds. We've seen a little bit of a split. We see Complexity coming out with the win. We see Ascendant Baseline going down to Sentinels. So a little bit of both sides of the coin here and 2 more rounds to go. We're getting things set up here for a minute, but I do want to welcome, I think Tools is going to hop on the broadcast as he's setting up so that we can actually see what you're saying, chat. Hi, chat.
Not ad time right away. I want to say once thank you everyone for coming in and hopping on the mic with you guys just for a second, because I want to talk about what we're doing here today, this pool play action that we've been able to get.